There's something you should know, that there was an NHL player who made defenders look completely lost without even trying. A guy who doesn't just score goals, but does it in a way that makes world-class players look like amateurs. Filip Forsberg has pulled off some of the smoothest, smartest plays in recent hockey history. From calm, no-look finishes to effortless moves that leave goalies frozen. He doesn't play the game with force, he plays it with feel. But how did he become this good? And why does it always look so easy for him? To understand that, we need to go back to where it all began. If you love stories about players who break the rules of the game in the best way possible, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story about the players who make hockey unforgettable. In today's NHLs, most coaches want players who play it safe. Dump the puck, chase it down, stick to the system. But Filip Forsberg? He's not like that. He plays on instinct. He slows the game down, waits for defenders to make the first move, and then strikes when they least expect it. His style is smooth, creative, and full of risks. He'll try toe drags in tight spaces, fake shots just to slide the puck around a goalie, or dangle the puck past two defenders instead of passing it off. Now here's the thing, if these plays didn't work, if the puck didn't end up in the net, coaches wouldn't be so forgiving. In fact, when he first joined the NHL, some people thought he was too fancy. There were whispers that he didn't shoot enough, that he held onto the puck too long, or that he was just trying to look cool on the ice. If that continued, he'd have ended up on the bench, or worse, back in the minors. But Forsberg proved them wrong. His creativity wasn't just flash, it was smart. He knew when to take risks, and more importantly, he knew why. Instead of playing the game everyone else was playing, he found his own rhythm. He studied defenders, looked for their weak spots, and used their own habits against them. Over time, coaches started to trust him. The same moves that once seemed risky became his signature. And instead of getting benched, Forsberg became the guy his team counted on when they needed something special. Filip Forsberg grew up in a small town in Sweden called Östervåla. It's the kind of place where winters are long, the streets are quiet, and hockey is more than just a game. It's part of life. Filip didn't grow up in a big city or train in some fancy sports academy. He learned to skate on frozen ponds near his home, where the ice was rough, the cold was real, and the only rule was to keep playing until the sun went down. His father, Patrick Forsberg, played hockey too. He wasn't a star, but he loved the game and passed that love down to Filip. Patrick became his first coach, his biggest fan, and his toughest critic. They spent hours in the backyard shooting pucks, working on balance, and learning how to think like a real player. Filip once said, "My dad never pushed me hard, he just gave me the chance to fall in love with the game." And he did. From a young age, people noticed something different about Filip. He wasn't the fastest skater or the biggest kid, but he saw the game in a special way. While other players chased the puck, Forsberg read the play. He could slow things down, pick his spot, and make it look easy. Coaches were surprised by how calm he was under pressure, even as a teenager. At just 15 years old, he was already playing against older players in Sweden's second highest league. And not just surviving, he was standing out. He wasn't flashy back then, but you could tell this kid had something. His hands were quick, his mind was sharp, and his confidence was growing. But talent alone wasn't enough. Filip worked hard, stayed humble, and kept showing up. From frozen ponds to junior leagues, everything was building towards something bigger. By the time Filip Forsberg was draft eligible in 2012, he was already making noise in Sweden. Scouts loved his vision, his hands, and the way he always seemed one step ahead. Some even believed he might go in the top 5 picks. But then something strange happened, one after another. He slipped out of the top 10, then past pick 11, then 12. Finally, at number 11 overall, the Washington Capitals picked him. Filip didn't say much, but you could see the confusion in his eyes. He had done everything right. Played hard, produced points, showed maturity, yet 10 teams didn't believe in him enough to take the chance. But that wasn't even the wildest part. Just a few months later, before he had even played a single NHL game, Washington traded him to the Nashville Predators for 2 veteran players. One of those players, Martin Erat, scored just 2 goals for the Capitals. The other never even suited up for them. At the time, people didn't know what to think. Some thought Forsberg wasn't ready. Others figured he'd be just another good but not great European prospect. But Filip wasn't thinking about the critics. He was thinking about proving them wrong. He made his NHL debut with Nashville during the 2013 season. He didn't score right away, he wasn't flashy, but he worked. He listened, and when his first full season came around, he exploded, scoring 26 goals and putting up 63 points. The same scouts and analysts who had doubts, now they were scrambling to explain how they missed on him. And Forsberg, he just kept playing his game, calm, smart, and always under control. Filip Forsberg didn't take long to grab the spotlight once he got comfortable in the NHL. He didn't just score, he announced himself with style. One of his early breakout moments came against the Dallas Stars. Forsberg skated into the zone, calmly pulled the puck between his legs mid-stride, and flipped it past the goalie like he was just messing around in practice. That wasn't a one-time thing either. Soon it felt like Forsberg had a new trick every night. One game, he'd fake out the entire defense with a silky toe drag. The next, he'd pull off a no-look backhander that left the goalie frozen. Even his teammates couldn't believe some of the stuff he was doing. And coaches around the league began planning their entire defense around just one guy, number 9 in goal. But it wasn't just about flash. Forsberg's big moments came in big games. During the 2017 playoffs, he scored game winners, outworked defenders in the corners, and delivered clutch goals that helped Nashville make it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. He wasn't just part of the run, he was leading it. People couldn't stop talking. Commentators called him one of the smoothest forwards in the game. Even retired players admitted he had moves they wished they'd tried. And through it all, Forsberg never looked rushed, never forced. It was like he was playing a different game, one slower, smarter, and somehow easier. Except it wasn't. It just looked that way because it was Forsberg doing it. Filip Forsberg doesn't play hockey like most NHL forwards. He doesn't rely on pure speed or power. Instead, he uses something much harder to teach: patience. While defenders are skating full speed trying to shut him down, Forsberg is calm, almost slow, like he's got all the time in the world. And that's exactly what makes him dangerous. One of the things that makes Forsberg stand out is his hands. They're fast, but smooth. He can change the puck's direction in the blink of an eye, and because he's so relaxed while doing it, defenders often don't see it coming. He doesn't panic when someone is closing in. Instead, he waits. He wants you to make the first move, then he makes you pay for it. Forsberg often shows incredible control near the crease, even when tightly covered by defenders. Instead of rushing, he'll pause just long enough to fake out opponents, calmly pulling the puck to his backhand before slipping it past the goalie. It's moments like these that send a clear message: he's in control. On many nights, Forsberg uses subtle hesitations and slight pauses to freeze defenders just enough to create scoring opportunities. With perfect timing, he cuts inside and lifts the puck over the goalie's shoulder, making difficult plays look effortless. His vision is just as special. He doesn't force plays. He lets the game come to him, and when it does, he finds teammates in perfect spots. Whether it's a soft drop pass or a sneaky cross-ice feed, Forsberg always seems to pick the smartest option, not just the flashiest one. In a league full of chaos, Forsberg brings calm, and that's what sets him apart. Filip Forsberg has had some monster seasons, but nothing compares to the stretch when he became the heart of the Nashville Predators offense. Between 2015 and 2018, he was on another level. He wasn't just scoring goals, he was changing games. In the 2015 to 2016 season, Forsberg scored 33 goals and added 31 assists. That was the year people stopped calling him underrated and started calling him one of the best left wings in the league. He had a way of showing up when it mattered most. Tie games, overtime, power plays. If the Preds needed something special, he delivered. And then came 2017, the year Nashville shocked the hockey world and made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Forsberg was electric during that run. He led the team in goals and made highlight plays look routine. In Game 4 against the Blackhawks, he scored twice in the third period to seal a sweep of the number 1 seed. The crowd was going wild, and one commentator shouted, "Forsberg is putting on a clinic!" But it wasn't just the numbers, it was how he did it. His signature move, the Dragon Roof. Forsberg loves to pull the puck in close, freeze the goalie with a quick hesitation, then lift it top shelf with his forehand or backhand. Goalies hate it because they can't read it fast enough. It's not just skill, it's timing, and Forsberg has it down perfectly. Another classic? The wraparound. Simple for most, deadly in Forsberg's hands. He times it just right, catches goalies leaning and slides it in before they can move. It's old school style with new school speed. Fans began to expect magic every time he touched the puck. Opposing coaches? They started putting their best defenders on him, but it didn't matter. When Forsberg was locked in, there was almost no stopping him. He wasn't just a player, you could feel it. He was a problem. Even the smoothest players hit rough patches, and Filip Forsberg was no exception. As much as he made the game look easy, there were times when things didn't go his way. He went through cold streaks, stretches where the puck just wouldn't go in, no matter how hard he tried. Sometimes the critics were quick to jump in, saying he had lost his edge, or that he wasn't producing like a top forward should. But Forsberg didn't panic. He never changed who he was. Instead of forcing plays or trying to be someone else, he focused on doing the little things right, winning battles in the corners, making smart passes, staying in position, and eventually the goals always came back. Injuries were another tough part of his journey. He's had a few that kept him out for weeks, sometimes months. One year, just when he was finding his rhythm, A hand injury took him out of the lineup, and right when he came back, he got hurt again. It would have been easy to get frustrated or even lose confidence, but Forsberg stayed patient. He worked quietly, stayed in shape, and came back strong every time. But some seasons didn't go as planned. Players left, coaches changed, and the pressure grew. Through it all, Forsberg stayed loyal. He never blamed others. He just kept showing up, kept working, and kept believing in the team. That's the thing with Forsberg. He's not just about fancy goals and pretty moves. He's about growth, about sticking to what works even when things get hard. And over time, that quiet toughness made him more than just a star. It made him a leader. Filip Forsberg isn't the new kid on the ice anymore. He's a veteran now, and one of the faces of the Nashville Predators. Over the years, he's gone from being the quiet, skilled scorer to a calm and steady leader. And the truth is, he never had to raise his voice to earn respect. He just let his game do the talking. What makes Forsberg special is that he never chased the spotlight. While other stars made headlines for big trades or bold statements, Forsberg stayed focused on the game. He trained hard, showed up early, and helped younger players adjust to the pace of the NHL. Teammates talk about how easy it is to play with him. He doesn't make things complicated, he makes them better. And even now, after years in the league, he's still dangerous. His wrist shot is just as sharp, his timing just as perfect. Defenders can't relax when he's on the ice because he can still pull off something special out of nowhere. 1 second, he's gliding up the boards. The next, the puck's in the back of the net. Forsberg also holds a special place in Nashville. He's not just a player, they see him as part of the team's identity. He stayed through the highs and lows. When other stars moved on, Forsberg stayed loyal, and that loyalty means something to fans. He may not talk much, but he leads by example. On and off the ice, Forsberg has become the kind of player every team wants. Skilled, smart, and committed. And no matter how many seasons pass, one thing stays true. When Forsberg's out there, anything can happen. Watching Filip Forsberg play is like watching hockey in slow motion. Not because he's slow, but because he controls the pace. He waits, he reads, and then just when you think nothing's going to happen, he makes a move that leaves everyone speechless. It looks easy, but it's not. What you're really seeing is years of hard work, smart decisions, and pure talent coming together. Forsberg isn't the loudest guy on the ice. He doesn't need to be. His game speaks for itself. Smooth hands, sharp vision, and the kind of patience that most players never learn. Whether it's a toe drag, a wraparound, or a perfectly timed assist, you always feel like something special could happen when he touches the puck. But now, I want to hear from you. Where do you rank Filip Forsberg among the NHL's top players? Is he still underrated, or has he earned his place with the best? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you want to hear about another player who shocked the league, but in a completely different way, click the video on your screen now. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.